Hi everybody, this is going to be chapter 29 of United as One. Don't forget to hit a like button and I hope you enjoy. Everything. Everything I've got I throw at him. First my Lumen, my oldest, my most trustworthy legacy. I fly off the ice floe that Marina made, leave 9 behind the blasted Dragostra with the 2 twin towers, torrents of fire. His stupid cape ignites. His armor hits the red hot. I watch as his pale skin bubbles and chars, peels back, and in the blink of an eye, is smoothed over by the arteries of ooze that circulate through his body. He doesn't even seem bothered by my attack. It's like he doesn't even feel any pain. He just floats above his lake of black muck, staring me down, an infuriating hint of a smile on his face. Is that the best you can do? He asks. Sister Gostra flies towards me at a speed I could not duplicate, and punches me square in the sternum. There are spikes blowing out of his knuckles that were not there a second ago, and I hear my ribs crunch. I'm tossed backwards onto a rocky outcropping at the edge of a vat, skidding to a stop on my elbows. Immediately, I start to heal my broken ribs. I'm going to need to keep healing as fast as he can hurt me, and hope that I can figure out a way to outlast him. With a roar, sorry. With a roar, Bernie Kusar flies towards Citricus. In his griffin form, he's a formidable opponent. Even if Citricus is moving at her super speed, maybe one good bite could make a difference. BK never makes it there. Citricus raises a hand, and the ooze from the lake springs up around BK. He forms a cage over him, like something out of a zoo, the bars thick sections of oil. Slashing and biting, BK cannot break free. Slowly, the cage begins to contract around him, forcing him to shapeshift into smaller and smaller forms or be crushed. I never did finish my work with the Chimera, Sister Kasra muses, watching as the smog swallows BK. Thank you for bringing me one. The cage stops compressing when BK is squished down to a beagle form. BK tries to go smaller and sneak between the bars, but the whole thing instantly seals up like a cocoon. I cannot see him anymore. BK floats in a solid bubble of ooze just above the lake's surface. At least, from the sound of it, Sister Ra doesn't plan to kill him right away. Cannot say the same about the rest of us. As I scramble to my feet, Sister Ra lands a few yards away. He holds out his hands like a saint in a stained glass window. My lips curled in disgust. Like insects before a giant, he says. So do you children quail before a god? Hear no god, I reply, tossing a fireball at him that he simply absorbs. He snorts. You Lorik, so pious even at the end. The thing you worship, the entity that now hides beneath the earth, it is nothing more than a resource, like ore, like water. You pray to a river while I create dams. You rely on the whims of nature, while my intellect shapes galaxies. Do you not see now what my work, my progress, has the power to create? I see a lonely old asshole living in a fucking cave, shouts Nine as he launches in from the side. Nine throws a haymaker that Citricus Ra easily ducks under. As Nine stumbles and tries to regain his balance, Citricus Ra grabs him by the hair and yanks him backwards. Citricus Ra's hand is flat, the edge gleaming like a blade of a sword. He swings in a chopping motion for Nine's neck. I yank Nine to me with a telekinesis before Citricus Ra can cut me off his head. He's left with a handful of Nine's hair ripped out of his head. The speed, the invulnerability, twisting his body into whatever six shapes he can imagine. It's crazy to think I was once intimidated by Citricus Ra when all he could do was change sizes and cancel our legacies. This monster before me is so much worse. Ideas? Nine says to me. Flank him, I reply, and we spread out. Nine holds up my dagger. May I? Be my guest. We're trying to put on a show of confidence, but I can tell Nine's shaken by Citricus Ra's display of power. We're in trouble. With a wolfish smile, Citricus Ra starts to advance on us. Before he gets too close, he's peppered by a volley of icicles from the ledge above. He's a pincushion, the eyes shards stabbing up and down his back. All you've made is pain and suffering, Marina yells down at him. All those bodies up there. For what? So you could craft these hideous powers? Citricus chuckles. Oh no, my dear. Lorien is stingy with its gifts. The pitiful sparks that hide within all of you are mere drops in the bucket. I need to tap directly into the source to create what you see down there. He runs a hand vainly across his own cheek. Draining these others was merely a trial run of one of my new augmentations. They died in service to glorious progress. You're mad, Marina counters. For all your supposed genius, you've never created anything as beautiful as Lorien did. A sudden wave of heat radiates from Citricus Rock, and the icicles melt right out of him. Then he spins around to face Marina, his appearance changing. His skin darkens to a caramel color, and his head sprouts a mop of curly dark hair. Haven't I? He asks. His face, his voice, he's taken on the shape of 8. Marina recoils in horror as he starts to float up to her. Didn't I promise to reunite you with your love? Citricus asks, his eyes filled with malice. It's never held in life. Citricus asks, his eyes filled with malice that it's never held in life. That could still be yours, dear Marina. Using my stone vision, I turn his lower half into solid granite and connect that to the cavern floor so that Citricus is now a stalagmite rising up from the rocks. He looks down at himself, 8's appearance abandoned, his own younger self returned, and makes a face. Primitive, he growls. Primitive or not, it slows him down. 9 charges in, runs up my rock formation and takes his wipe at Citricus with my bronze dagger. Stuck in place, Citricus cannot dodge, and 9 claves off a huge chunk of his face. For a moment, I think I see blood, but then the Moldorian sludge fills in the wound, smooths it over, and his face is back to normal. Still, he was hurt. We can find ways to hurt him. As 9 comes around for another pass, I push out with my telekinesis. I put pressure on the armor that Citricus wears, crushing it, compacting it, hoping to tighten it around his guts. I sense Marina add her strength to mine, and soon we are squeezing the armor like a tin can. Blowing, Citricus rips the armor loose and tosses it aside. He's bare-chested now, right over his heart, in the spot where Styx impaled him. There's a throbbing mass of the black ooze, like a spider at the center of its web. The stuff isn't concentrated like that on any other part of his body. That has to be where he's deriving all this power from. 9! Instead of speaking, this time I use my telepathy. I don't want Citricus to know we figure him out. Go for the heart! Duh, he thinks back. Citricus kicks free of the rocks I built around his legs like they were nothing more than pebbles. As soon as it's free, I activate my stone vision and trip him up again. And at the same time, Marina assails him with another vicious barrage of eyes. He swats the frozen daggers away, growling distracted. This grows tiresome, he says. And then 9 is on him, leading with the boron dagger, powering out of a crouch, thrusting forwards with all his worth. Stabbing Citricus right through the heart. 9 buries the blade of the hilt. Its tip pokes out through Citricus back. Citricus looks down at the weapon. He smiles. Is this a children's toy? He asks, sounding amused. I have spent centuries perfecting my work. And you think, what? That there is a weak point? He takes a deep breath, and the blade, along with 9's hand, still on the hilt, is sucked fully into the black mass on his chest. Citricus looks towards Marina. Behold, a demonstration. 9 screams. His arm first turns blue, like the circulation's being cut off, then gray and withered, and finally as black as the ooze. The muscles melt, his skin sags off his bones. It's like watching time-lapse photography of his arm decomposing. Citricus again stomps free of the stone, placed around the legs, and kicks 9 in the chest. 9 flies backwards. His arm stays with Chichiro's straw. It hangs from his chest for a moment, and then it's like the ooze begins to digest the limb, breaking it down, drawing it into Chichiro's straw. When the process is over, the arm is fully absorbed. Nine lies on the ground, clutching the empty space where his arm used to be. Marina leaps down, wide-eyed. "Oh God! Oh God!" she mumbles, groping at the spot on Nine's shoulder. There's no blood. The flesh is dried and dead. Still, she activates her healing legacy and tries something. Citrica's straw advances on them, wetting his lips. A flagward stone vision, a bombardment of ice, a blast of fire, try to slow him down. I'm not strong enough. He grabs my head, palms my face, and slams me down to the stone floor. "You will be the last, Pericles," he says. Blood streams into my eyes, woozy, dazed. I struggle to my knees as Citrica's straw stalks towards my friends. We can't win this. Marina throws up her hands, and a wall of solid ice separates her and Nine from Citrica's straw. The Gondorian sighs, annoyed, and punches straight through it. While this happens, I reach out with my telepathy, search for Adam's mind. In the heat of battle, it didn't occur to me until now that Six never showed up. Maybe she went back to the warship with Adam for some reason. I allow myself to briefly hope. Nothing. I cannot find Adam's mind. Or Six. Split seconds pass telepathically, but it feels like an eternity of searching. Finally, I managed to make contact with Ella, still floating above the mountain in her warship. The anxiety radiating from her mind is palpable as soon as we connect. She anticipates my questions. Adam fell into a chasm with Fury Dunra, Ella tells me. And Six, she's hurt bad. I think she's unconscious. Damn it. I switch from Ella's mind to Sam's. I can sense him up there, pacing back and forth, watching the darkened entrance of Mongolian base through the workshop windows. Sam, I make an effort to keep my thoughts calm and collected, like my friends aren't dying, like I'm not losing this war. I need you to do something for me. I need you to do something for me. John? His mind practically leaps towards mine. Our entire conversation takes place in the space of one of the nervous strides, his foot hovering above the floor of the bridge. What's happening? Ella won't say. I need you to do something for me. Anything. Use your legacy. Command the ship to destroy the mountain. What? Images flash to the forefront of Sam's mind. He and I walking through the halls of Paradise High School, Nine grabbing him in a loose headlock. Most prominently, he and Six standing on a breathtaking mountaintop somewhere, gazing out at the crystal clear ocean. It's the only way to stop him, Sam. He's strong, but we can trap him down there. No, I won't. Not while you're all still in there. All of this telepathy happens at the speed of thought as I get to my feet, and Citrica's rock crosses towards Marina and Nine. I'm out of time, though. He's there. I need to act. Get up! Nine! Come on, Marina pleads, still trying to heal the dead flesh on his shoulder. Holding Sam in my mind, letting him see what I see. I fly towards Citrica's straw, hoping to buy Marina some more time. I'll be right back. He anticipates me, backhands me with a force that cracks my jaw and sends me crashing into the cave floor, skittering through the broken shards of Marina's ice wall. Anand is still on the ground, moaning and shaking, probably going into shock. Marina presses both her hands into his stump. Our healing legacies don't regrow limbs, though. There's nothing we can do. Citrica's straw grabs Marina by the hair and yanks her off her feet. She thrashes, raking her hand across his face. She hits the exact spot that Nine sliced with the boron blade just a minute ago. Citrica's straw drops her, recoils and clutches at his cheek. That part of his face slips off, the black oil holding it together receding into his body. Marina and I might make eye contact. What did you do? My thought hits her mind with urgency. Healing, she replies. I was still using my healing. I remember New York City right before the invasion. Secretary of Defense Henderson and the black ooze running through his veins. It took minutes and it was exhausting, but I was able to burn that gunk out from inside his body by using healing. We can kill Citricus Ra, we just have to make him Lorik again. We have to expel these augmentations and destroy what's left of this man. Marina already got the idea. We just have to make him Lorik again. We have to Marina's already got the idea. As Citricus Ra recovers, she flashes forward and extends it in his direction. Citricus Ra sidesteps. He catches her by the elbow and twists, breaking Marina's arm behind her back and dislocating her shoulder. Then, he slashes her face with his claws, opening up 4 deep scratches diagonally across her face. Meanwhile, his own sick visage has already been restored by the ooze. I fly into Citricus Ra before he can finish off Marina. I wrap my legs around his chest and grab him on either side of his head, pumping as much of my healing energy into him as I can. At the same time, I muster as much force as I can and fly us across the cavern, hoping that keeping him away from his bat will weaken him further. I can feel the augmentations inside of him, the oil breathing in every part of his body. There's more of that inside him than there is man. It's like I'm trying to beat back a tidal wave. Still, I have to try. This is the only way it ends. Citricus Ra screams as the force healing into him. But quickly, he fights back. He bites down on my shoulder, his mouth hideously huge. Teeth sharpen and tears off a chunk of flesh. John! Marina shouts, her one arm hanging limp at her side, blood streaming down her face. She races forward to help. Spikes of hardened ooze thrust forth from Citricus Ra's body. One goes through my leg, another my side, and another my shoulder. I'm not even sure if he's controlling this or if it's a reaction brought on by my healing, like the ooze is trying to escape. Either way, now we are pinned together. Another spike nearly makes it to Marina's eye before she skids to a stop a few feet away. I redirect some of my healing to my own wounds, try to close them as fast as Citricus Ra can make them while still beating back the biliousness that spread throughout him. As my healing legacy drives it from Citricus Ra's body, the ooze coalesces around us in a battering tendrils. Marina can't even get close anymore. Go! I yell at her. Take 9 and get out of here. I'm not leaving you. 6 is in the caverns up there. She needs healing, I tell her, gritting my teeth against the pain. Please, go. Please, Marina, go! Marina looks at me, tears in her eyes. I can barely see her anymore through the mess of ooze thrashing around me. I see her look up thoughtfully at the spiraling pathway that leads back to the surface, then down at 9. With a groan, 9 touches Marina's leg. He shudders. Just like we practiced, he says, deliriously transferring his legacies to her. I remember that. Captured the flag in Chicago. 9's team won because they gifted Marina his anti-gravity legacy. Marina scoops 9 up with her working arm. She's got his strength too. With one last look at me, she runs straight up the wall, leaping over the ledges as she sprints for the surface. Via my telepathy, Sam has witnessed this whole thing. He feels what I'm feeling, the ebb and flow of pain, the tearing throughout my body. Sam, the others are coming out. Will you do it now, Sam? John. His sadness flows into me, worse than all the pain. He'll do it. I know he will. I turn off my telepathy, focus only on healing. I let all the Lorik energy stored inside of me cascade forth. I pray it's enough. I am face to face with Citricus Ra, the two of us locked together. My healing continues to pour into him, and with every second, his young face melts away, the oil driven back. His pale skin returns, his bulbous bald head, the sulken cheeks, the vivid purple scar. He snarls at me. He spits in my face, headbutts me. In his black eyes, for the first time, I see doubt. I'm gonna kill you, he snarls his breath. He snarls, his breath hot and wrenched against my face. I know this is true. I'm gonna die down here, tangled together with my worst enemy, hitting him even as it tears me apart. You. A bubble of blood pops up when I try to speak. You'll die first. The tendril of his ooze, razor sharp and ice cold, slashes across my abdomen, opens me up. I push warm, healing energy into him. Watch as his face turns gray and wrinkled, a centuries-old man. The ooze coalesces around my legs, crushes them like a vise, my bones snapping like twigs. More healing, a little bit for my body, just enough to keep me going, the rest for him. A chunk of hard-earned ooze falls away from him and turns to dust on the cavern floor. Citrus raw billows. He rips into my rib cage. His claws dig throughout my flesh, saw through bone. He's trying to dig out my heart. Hold on, John. I let him shred me. Focus on the warm glow. I could melt away in that glow. Do you really think you can outlast me? He sneers. A black vein bursts on his forehead. I've done it all these years. What's a few more minutes? You were always a fool, Pittacus. I am not Pittacus, Lord. I say through gritted teeth. I am number 4. I am the one who kills you. A tremor. The entire cavern complex shakes. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a vivid flash of red light. The bombardment has begun. Thank you, Sam. Just keep him there. Bury him down here, with all his horrible experiments. The withered, hideous face before me laughs maniacally. I close my eyes. Picture Sarah. She holds up a camera, snaps a photo, and smiles at me. I let my legacies pour out of me, all of them, until there's nothing left. Whoa. Well, it seems like this is the end of chapter 29. A very tragic ending, it seems. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and next time I'll see you guys next time.